I worried whether I would have the patience and the skills to become a mother. And in all honesty with you, Steph, I actually had therapy before having children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Intentionally. Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. I just wanted to be ready mentally.
Yeah.
And make sure that I could try to do a good job.
Okay, welcome to the After Making a Baby podcast. The podcast gets real about everything life after making a baby. You know, here we tell you the real deal. Today, I'm joined by a beautiful mom of two, Camellia.
Thank you.
She's a mom of two. Not only that, she's also a marketing and social media director for a PR agency. And she's the co-founder of Medway Culture Club. She's busy.
Booked and busy.
Booked and busy, but she has graciously come on to share her story, her journey of motherhood, everything real, everything raw, everything beautiful. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to give her the floor to just introduce herself. How are you doing, darling?
Hi, Steph. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you for coming.
I'm well. If not just a little sleep deprived, but that's just normal state of affairs for most mums, right?
Exactly.
And we function just as well.
Exactly. True. It's funny because we just make it happen.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your beautiful passion project, because I want everyone to hear about that.
So Medway Culture Club was founded in 2020. I'm one of a few co-founders who, in a time of turmoil and uncertainty, we wanted to make a change and change the narrative into something positive in our local area. So it's a community-led, completely volunteer-led organisation. It's a charity that brings people together to learn from each other.
Wow.
It celebrates diversity. It's a social enrichment and cultural education service. And we predominantly work with children aged 5 to 16. So we want to be as inclusive as possible to help build their self-esteem, their employability, but also just have a lot of fun. So we call it edutainment.
Oh, I love that. Edutainment. What's the kind of like activity you would do?
So if we think about some of the most recent activities, we worked with a music production bus, which is by Young Urban Arts Foundation, to bring it to Medway and make a theme tune for Medway Culture Club. So they produced the theme tune by picking the beats and also creating the lyrics as well. So a group of children made a wonderful song. They made sweet music together. And that was in Black History Month.
Oh, beautiful.
Followed that in November by a session called The Dawn of Diwali, learning about Asian culture, the stories behind it, and then some beautiful Bhangra dancing and drumming workshops. So it was really physical.
Kids will love that.
Yes. Some of the most popular ones are where they're making and baking. So we had the MCC Chocolate Factory. It sold out in no time. And then the art of graffiti as well. So learning the do's and don'ts, but also just getting creative and helping to make banners for Medway Culture Club so that we can, every August, we have a carnival.
Oh, beautiful.
We bring the essence of Notting Hill Carnival to Medway because there's many people within our community who will never venture out.
Yes.
And we make it a really family-friendly event. So that's where Black Mums came and joined us this year. And I know it's a really supportive community, and that's how we met.
Exactly. That's how we met. And thank you. I'm so happy that this happened, because when you told me about your story and some of the other things you've kind of gone through with motherhood and identity shifts, I was like, yes, I need you for this episode. But before we dive into this episode, I want to do a quick little icebreaker.
Sure.
So we're going to do a little finish the sentence, and I'll say a sentence and I want you to complete it based on whatever you feel, right? Okay.
This could be risky.
Okay, first one. After making a baby, I never expected to
be so motivated.
Ooh, yes.
Honestly, I'm inspired by my children because I know that they're looking up to me to show them the way.
Yes.
So
that is 100% Correct. Even though you have less time, you have more passion, more drive, because now you have your kids who look up to you and depend on you.
Yeah.
Whether you're sick, whether you're, whether you're feeling low, you kind of just get up because you have to show up for them. Oh, I love that one. Okay. Number 2. After making a baby, one thing I really miss is
freedom.
So real. So real.
Yeah, got to keep it 100. Yeah. Just spontaneity. There's just a lot less of that these days, but I'm getting there. Don't worry. I'm bringing it back. It's just there's a time and place for everything.
That is. There's a season, a time and place.
That's right.
That's what I learned as mom. Okay. Last one. Motherhood has taught me
patience. Yeah.
Very important.
I worried whether I would have the patience and the skills to become a mother. And in all honesty with you, Steph, I actually had therapy before having children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Intentionally. Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. I just wanted to be ready mentally.
Yeah.
And make sure that I could try to do a good job.
Yeah.
I think I put a lot of pressure on myself and I knew I would. So I looked to try to heal anything that had come before so that I wasn't going to pass it on.
Yeah.
And obviously, we got on with it and I'm still trying to heal.
You realise it's kind of on the job.
Yeah,
so many
and it's ongoing.
Yes, it's ongoing. Yeah. So many scenarios that you can never plan for, you can never prepare for, but it just happens as a mom. But I think you're the first person to ever told me that. I went to therapy to prepare for motherhood.
Yeah.
That's some next level self-awareness and, intentionality in there.
Yeah.
Okay, well done. I feel like I'll add that one too. In case anyone else you might need to kind of heal the trauma from before so you don't bring anything to your kids and then you still, obviously it's still a learning curve, but you do
it's that level of patience and automatic responses that you need to try to interrupt.
Yeah.
No, I'm teaching what I learned. You need to interrupt some of those automatic negative thoughts that you might have grown up with in order to not react, but respond to your children.
Yeah.
And it comes naturally to some, and I was worried it wouldn't.
It won't come for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So let me introduce a bit of today's topic, right? Today's topic is titled, Who Am I Now? We're talking about the identity shift after making a baby.
Okay.
Because when a baby is born, everyone rushes to meet the baby. They want to hold the baby. Is baby feeding well? Is baby sleeping well? Baby is so cute. But a lot of the times we forget to hold the mother too.
Yeah.
It's also the birth of a mother, right?
Yeah.
And
I always say happy birthday to the mum.
Beautiful.
I do.
Yes.
You gave birth. Who gave birth? It's your birthday.
It's your birthday. Like usually,
especially with the eldest, it was like, as you say, it's the time you became a mum.
Literally that. You're literally being born into this new identity. And it's always, even though you're pregnant for 9 months, you become a mum in that space of time when you have a baby. You're not really a mom. You have the baby's inside and you're kind of, especially when it's your first time, right? You think about how you're going to bond with this baby, but the shift is sudden.
Yes, it is. Especially if, like me, you didn't get the full 9 months because my eldest came early.
That was me too. Came at 8 months.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it just happens even before you're ready.
But I was ready.
Okay.
Yeah. I was ready because she was due in February and I said to my husband, let's have everything done by Christmas.
Oh.
The cot up, everything purchased, the bag by the door, the hospital bag packed. So yeah, it wasn't a panic.
Oh, good. Amazing.
It wasn't a panic. So yeah, I feel very fortunate that I'm a planner. As much as I said that I was much more spontaneous before motherhood, I think spontaneity was something that I thrived on in my personal life, but planning came very naturally as part of my career. Yeah. As a fashion buyer, you plan and you buy months in advance. And I think I just applied some of that work ethic to motherhood.
That's true. I know she just mentioned fashion buyer, which I didn't mention about her job, but that was what you were doing.
That was then, and this is now. You know, people have squiggly career paths these days, and I think I've evolved, and I'm in my tech girl era.
Ooh.
So yeah, I work for a PR agency called The Digital Voice, which is a PR agency that specialises in ad tech companies we work with. So
okay.
It works.
It works. Okay, so a little bit backwards to the beginning. Did you feel like you became a mom immediately, like when you had that baby? You know, you said you were kind of a planner in terms of getting ready for the baby. So when the baby arrived, identity-wise, was it an immediate shift or was it a slow realization into motherhood?
I think it was quite immediate, if I'm honest, because she was a bit early. I had a week in hospital with her to bond and to only be her mum. You know, you're sitting on that hospital bed and you're just waiting for the time to come that she needs to feed again, and trying not to hold her too much, because that's what mum told me. You know, don't give them too much hand, but also you just think they're so cute. You're trying to sleep when they're sleeping, but you're also trying to take photos.
And just watch them.
The right photo to send to welcome her to the world, but then not on social media. Yeah, that all changed. But at first it was very much like me, my baby and I. And my husband would come every morning and I'd send him like at 3 a.m. like what I need him to bring each day. Strawberry water, hot cross bun. This is what I was surviving on in hospital. Just like emergency supplies, because breastfeeding is rough going and sometimes you only have one hand. So luckily you can eat a hot cross bun with this hand.
One baby is this.
Yeah, and I'm no frills. I can just eat it straight. I didn't need to cut it, butter it. It was just emergency food.
Yeah. Well, did you feel, how was breastfeeding for you? Was that like beautiful? Baby latched perfectly?
Absolutely not. I was stubborn though. My biggest fear as a mother was that I'd forget to feed the baby.
Okay.
As if you can forget to feed the baby, that I will let you know.
Yeah.
But I thought, I'm going to breastfeed because, again, that's emergency food. If I forget a bottle, I can always feed on the go. So, but learning from my sister who had had 2 children before me, her child was both her children were exclusively breastfed.
Wow.
And for a year.
Wow.
She went nowhere without the children.
You have no life if your baby's breastfed.
And I learned from her, I said, okay, this latch isn't working that great right now. I know that it was early days, but definitely topped up with a bottle. So I was combination feeding from day 1, day 2. And it was intentional. I had a Medela breast pump, which was hands-free. It's battery powered. Went all out and it was double as well. You could pump on both sides. And hook it on and I did this and I've got a photo, hook it on your waistband and carry the baby and change the nappy. I thought I was #winning. I was like, check me out.
I got this.
But that wasn't straight away. That was probably, I remember taking that selfie or photo in the mirror and my reflection, changing the nappy and pumping on both sides, and just thought, this. But actually, it took probably 6 weeks to get to that point, because I also took a photo of putting her back inside my pajama top because she was 6 weeks early. And it was like, right, now you were supposed to be born. And I think exclusively breastfeeding, I take my hat off to many people, but it wasn't for me. I think it was that lesson of I needed that freedom.
Yeah.
I needed to be able to. And I remember her being born in the winter in January. It was like, don't go outside, don't take the baby out. And she wasn't even supposed to be born yet.
Exactly. So too tiny.
I needed to go somewhere. So I took the tube like one stop and I went and I bought her first dress and then I came back. But I just didn't have a pram. I didn't have a bag. I had hands free.
Yeah.
And I think being hands free is where I am now. Where my children are 7 and 8, going on 9. And I very much, it was a turning point when I think I got rid of the nappy bag and I was like, freedom, free at last. You can carry backpacks.
It's true. When you're going out and you don't have to worry about nappies and all these things. That
Yeah,
kids
the
are put
snacks,
away.
they carry them themselves now. It's
Such a
great.
big difference. It's great, is what you can say.
Yeah, it's independence.
Yeah.
The biggest gift my mum gave me was independence. Some people sort of say, oh, latchkey kids, and they see it in a really negative light. But actually, being able to be that support that my mum needed while she was a working single mother, to pick up we used to call them the kids, pick up the kids from you. So my sisters are 4 and 6 years younger than me. Okay. So when I was in secondary school, I'd take them on the bus home and, let us in. And I took turns making dinner for us with my older brother. And then, it's just helping out, needs must. But what that taught me was when I left home at 18, I knew what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And I know that...
You matured pretty quickly.
I did. I was, definitely ready to have my own household and, be on top of it. I always worked from about the age of 14, so I knew how to manage money as well. Okay. And, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. However, in this day and age, we're like wrapping our kids up in cotton wool, driving them everywhere. Yeah. And I need to...
they'll be traumatized or something. Yeah,
I need to just find that balance between it was all right for me and I want better for them. Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. It's always finding the balance, right? Of how you were raised and how you want to raise your kids.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So once the baby arrived, did you feel... Because I want to talk about this disappearing mom effect where when the baby comes, the way everyone rushes for the baby, did you ever feel like the world shifted its attention from you as the mom, especially the attention you get when you're pregnant? Everyone focuses in on you. Do you want to have a seat? Are you okay? Everyone that sees you walking out, are you okay? Do you want me to help you with this? And then it shifts its attention completely away from you to the baby once the baby arrives. Did you feel that shift?
I didn't. Okay. If I'm completely honest, I don't remember feeling less important. I just had a job to do. I was just trying to get it done.
Focus on motherhood and just getting done.
Yeah, absolutely. And learning each day, as I said, with having a slightly premature baby, her latch was awful. And I remember it was a difficult time because my grandmother wasn't well when I had her. Yeah. And I'd visit my mum and my grandma, but I never brought my daughter to see my grandma in hospital because, it's not the place for a baby. Yeah. We don't, So unfortunately, my grandma passed when my daughter was 2 months old. And it was fortunate because I was on maternity leave that I could spend more time with my mum at that time. Yeah. But she never got to see her last grandchild. Now, that weighed on me slightly. However, the relationship that I had with my grandma really was very heartwarming. And the goodbye I got to say, didn't realise it was goodbye, but it was just a lovely last meeting the night before she passed. And I think as much as she did want to see the baby, I showed her photos, etc. And I think I still have a pillow in what was my nursery. Changed it into my office after. But I've got a pillow that I gave my grandma and it was given back to me. And it is a picture of us both. And so that's why it was given back to me. Okay. And it was my nursing chair pillow. So my children, it's like they know her because they're like, that's great grandma. Yeah. And so I also make sure I inject some of her sayings into when I'm speaking to them. Oh, that's lovely. Just so that they understand where they're from as well. Because my grandma's St. Lucian. And now that they've been to St. Lucia, they sort of have that little understanding and that. But I would say in that difficult time where I was really struggling to breastfeed, I had the support of my mum, who was seasoned pro at it. She's mum of 6. And then my sister, who had a baby 6 months before me. Okay. She literally would clock watch for me. And I preferred to pump because it didn't hurt. This latch business was really painful.
Especially with your baby being tiny.
She would, we went to all the appointments about tongue tie, etc., etc. But she got there in the end. It was just that with the disruption of spending more time with my mum, she then sort of regressed. And there was a lot to navigate. So I wasn't worried about if people were wondering how I was, but my sister was really supportive and she would look at her watch and say, it's been 3 hours.
Time to feed the baby.
I was like, please let me pump. Please. She said, oh, but you don't want her to, lose her ability. You want to get her stronger to be able to do it. Remember, you want to breastfeed. And it was just me being stubborn that it was like, I can't give up until she's got it. And then once she got to like 6, 8 weeks, and it just got easier and easier. She just took a long time to actually feed. Yeah. So, at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're feeding and it takes until 3. And then they tell you don't pump before you feed the baby. Otherwise, they won't have enough milk. Yeah. So then you've got to pump after. So you've been up for an hour feeding that baby. Then you've got to pump for, I don't know, however long. I'd put it on the top speed. And because I was seeking medical advice as to why the latch was so difficult and why it was so painful, I got sent some videos from the medical professionals in this field, breastfeeding, and it wasn't that helpful, I've got to say. It was like videos of mothers in Africa who it just happened, But yeah, it just worked. And I was like, so this just makes me feel like inadequate. I'm doing something wrong. And, this is how easy it could be, sort of thing. And funnily enough, I'd seen my sister breastfeed. Both of my sisters did. It's just very individual.
Yes.
And that's what they don't tell you. With my second, she just knew what she was doing. She'd drain a boob in 10 minutes. And I'd get on with it. I rarely had to pump because I was like, by the time I've pumped, she would have finished. Yeah. So it's very different. It's very individual. Yes. And as I said, hats off to people who can exclusively breastfeed, who go through the learning process, and it's not as difficult as it is for others. But those who persevere, again, I think it's commendable. I learned a lot about breast milk being like the antidote to everything that your child needs.
True.
So I think I'm proud of myself. I think I breastfed for about 10 months with my eldest.
That's impressive, to be honest.
And actually with my second as well. And I'll tell you why I stopped. I didn't have a goal in mind. Some people say, I want to do it for a year. I stopped because I was advised to stop. Oh. Because I found out I was expecting baby number 2.
That is true. It was a surprise.
It was, so when I went to my first midwife appointment, she said, that milk's not for that baby anymore. And she was eating. So I listened. Now, that could be controversial advice, but I listened. I knew that I was getting ready to go back to work, and actually it was probably good timing for me to wean her off. Yeah. And it was a very quick process. I kind of went cold turkey. Just was like, oh, it's not for her.
Yeah, that's it, done. Okay. Sometimes it might be harder for the baby, but I feel like quickly they adapt so quickly. Especially because you said she was eating already. So.
Yeah, it worked fine. I can't remember any trauma at all. But then it was about feeding her a bottle. And I still did that in the middle of the night. And then again, I got some advice. They're like, she doesn't need a bottle in the middle of the night. She eats food. She's a year. I was like, well, why didn't someone tell me?
Everyone different, I guess. I think sometimes you just figure it out on the go. Right?
Yeah.
Then you get more information and you're like, okay. Yeah. And we keep navigating it like that. I wanted to come back to one thing. The thing is, you said your sister said when she was like, just the importance of having someone there for you when you're tired, you're exhausted, and it's just like, remember you said you want to breastfeed, and just gives you that word of encouragement. Yeah. It changes a lot of the time, especially when you're in the trenches.
Absolutely. So my mum told me to stop. For you. My mum was like, if it's that bad, just stop.
Yeah, my mum too. My mum was like, why are you breastfeeding them? Just after 6 months, you're done. Just stop. Like,
no. In the early days.
Oh, she was just like, that's it, done.
Yeah, because I think, again, with her generation, the education wasn't there about the importance of it. Yeah. And so I think she breastfed her later children, but maybe not her first. Yeah, because she went back to work at 6 weeks for her first child. Because there wasn't a thing as maternity leave. Yeah, so she had very different experiences. Yeah.
That's true. Let's talk a bit about the loss of identity and rewriting identity a bit, because I know you mentioned, what you used to do before and then after. What part of your old life felt like maybe it disappeared first? Like, was it your career? Was it you,
Obviously, I was forced onto maternity leave. I sort of told my boss I had the baby. She was like, okay, that means you're on maternity leave
From now. Yeah.
I was like, I was waiting for that paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
So the career went out the window. And actually, that was a relief. If I'm honest, I think the reason she was early was because I was really stressing about work, trying to make sure that I worked twice as hard, that people didn't think I was taking it easy, because I had to take some time to work from home before working from home was a thing. Okay. During pregnancy, I had a couple of complications. So, yes, that was a bit of a weight off because I had a whole new job to learn. And this job wasn't 9 to 5. So the career went. And then parts of my identity, socialising, definitely lost friends who, I guess they were good time friends, go to the club. But that wasn't my life anymore. Yeah. And I was of an age where I knew it. So I made sure before I even decided to get pregnant, I went to every festival. I went to everything, every celebration. I was like, I need to get this out my system because I'm going to have to pause. In fact, I went to a boot fair in Pimlico, which is like a fashion one where they really got good prices for clothes. I sold all my bodycon dresses. Oh. Yeah.
You were like, this is the end of this era, so let's let it be.
Yes.
You were preparing.
I was preparing. Yes. When I look, in fact, I prepared so much that when I was trying to conceive, I had seen how my family historically gained weight during pregnancy. So I lost weight.
What?
I lost weight to have a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never... That is next level preparation. Like, I love that. Because when I had my first, the second time, I was like, I'm going to lose weight and even go way below just because I know that I gained weight the first time.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I put on, but I definitely wore nice dresses to my baby showers. I was not a smock kind of person, and I was still wearing outfits to work. Those guys did not know I was pregnant until 4.5 months. I was going for a promotion and there was a big presentation I had to do. And then I had a holiday booked and I wasn't showing until I went on holiday. Okay. And the difference was actually wearing a dress. If you wore a dress, you could see it. But if you was wearing jeans and a top, not so much. And so it was all quite strategic. It was just a bit taboo. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get across is that in not necessarily the industry as a whole, but in my particular workplace, there wasn't many people who had children. Yeah. As much as there's the fashion industry is inundated with women, they're all very much focused on climbing that ladder, especially in buying, where there's so much competition. So, yes, I did feel like there wasn't anybody else who had been on maternity leave. Okay. And so to tell them, I couldn't get the words out, so I didn't. I went on my holiday and I took loads of lovely photos, my little bump. I didn't post anything. I just wore a dress on my return to work.
Okay, to show.
And they said, that's not holiday weight. And I didn't even have to say the words, I'm pregnant, I'm expecting, or it just took that out of my hands, which was what I needed at the time. Okay. So they said, we're not going to recruit for your maternity cover. We'll just wait for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, until I came back pregnant.
Oh, that's true. Because when you were coming back, you were pregnant again. And then you had to leave. So then they were like, how was that? How did they take that one? I did feel like, how you can expect, if someone did that to me, I'd be pissed off. I did, but it wasn't intentional. Yeah. However, how I sort of spun it to them, which is how someone who also I know also has 2 children with a sort of a 1.5 year gap. She said, well, I'm done now. You don't have to worry that in 3 years' time I'm going to be off again. Get it out the way, to and through. And then focus.
So, but in all of that, we decided to return to Kent as well. Yeah. So to be more centred around my family and have that additional sort of unit that could help raise the children, but also just give that additional layer of identity to them in knowing where they came from, because they're just surrounded by their family.
That's beautiful. That's really good.
Yeah.
How did your relationship, friendships, especially routines, friendships changes a lot? Right?
Absolutely.
How did that change for you?
as I said, there were certain friends who went by the wayside. Definitely had lots of friends who came to visit, like you said, they all come to see the baby.
Yeah.
And that was nice. It was the one time.
Yes.
But it's the friendships who go beyond that that last.
That last, exactly.
And luckily I did have some friends who had babies at the same time. Not that I was in a coffee shop every day, like
trying to catch up
ladies
stuff,
at lunch. But I had a few friends who I was able to still maintain friendships with. But what you do is you evolve. So there's different mum groups that you then find solace in, who are going through what you're going through, where maybe your other friends might not be able to relate.
What did you miss the most about the you before motherhood?
The carefreeness.
Yeah. So you did say you were very spontaneous.
I was so spontaneous. Footloose, fancy free. I didn't even do regular food shops.
Oh.
There was no routine in my life.
You
we'd call each other on the way home. What should we do for dinner? Should we go to the pub? Or I'll meet you where you're at and we'll eat somewhere around there. Or pick up something from somewhere in the station or a local shop. There definitely wasn't like regular meals that we ate, spag bowl on a Monday.
Yes.
Sushi. We now have Sushi Tuesdays at home. It's not cooking, right?
Okay.
The children are on board with it. So they loved sushi. I'm like,
good.
Okay. But they like good sushi now. They won't just go with the co-op one.
They want to go
to sushi restaurants. But that's a little burden that I have to bear because I've put that cross on my own back.
Yeah.
By trying to regain who I was, still going out to eat, bringing the children. So now that's what their norm is a little bit.
I like that. You saying regain who you was. Is that for you? Were those routines or little things you did feel like, okay, this is how I'm getting back to a little bit like me again? So when did that you come back? Because as a mom, you go through the trenches, but there's always a moment, big or small, where you start feeling like, oh, I think I'm getting back to me again. So what was that for you?
I think when my youngest was around 3 or 4, I think that's when I thought, okay, they don't solely rely on me. I'm fortunate enough that I have a very good partner in my husband. He definitely does his fair share.
Good.
And I was never a martyr. I was not going to be that mum who did everything, who took it all on their own shoulders. A lot of women fall into that. They think, I'm the mum, so I must do everything. And it's just physically not possible. There's definitely things that I took. So weaning, that was me. I was making every meal from scratch. That's fine. That's not an unusual thing to do. I tried to do half with baby-led weaning, and my friend gave me a book about it. I don't think I ever read it, but I was like, I get the gist. The gist is let them feed themselves. Again, independence. So I think the groundwork was there for me not to put too much pressure on myself. Having seen it around me, I thought, I'm not a single parent. I don't need to act like one.
Oh, very important. You need to pull him in too. We made this baby together.
Yeah, because I rather not. And I read, this was something in Michelle Obama's book. I'm not going to be mad at you because you make time for you. That was something that really resonated with me because at the time, I didn't look like myself. I didn't look like my reflection I wasn't so happy with, but yet still, I'm angry that you got time to go gym. I'm like, where's my time to go gym? No, Michelle Obama said she went through the same thing. She switched it up. I'm not going to be mad at you. I need to take responsibility for me. So I'm going to take time because no one ever denied you that time. I mean, in my life, no one ever denied me that time. You just have to ask. Can I go for a walk?
Sometimes we feel guilty just asking. You just have to ask.
I don't feel guilty to the father of my children to say, okay, I'm going to go for a walk now. It's important because not only do you clear your head, helps you to be a better version. I definitely felt cabin fever at times. And I think it was only healthy for me to go and say, I need to be by myself with nobody else in the room or outside. I need some fresh air. just to function. Yeah.
That's beautiful, because you know how mom guilt is a real thing.
I get it, just not for that.
But exactly. You have to always think about also what's important for you, what will make you show up better as a mom, right?
Yeah.
It's just little things like this. It could just be having that moment to go out and just take a walk and just clear your head and come back.
Yeah.
Those are the things you should not feel guilty about, right?
No,
you know, sometimes
absolutely.
you feel guilty, okay, you have to go back to work and you leave the baby young. We understand that one. And it's hard when you have to keep your baby with someone else to, you know, while you're working or something. But when it's time for self-care, a bit of mental health, like space and clearing your head, please, let's make sure we're not feeling guilty. You're too, especially if you have a partner who can help you out.
Yeah.
You should not feel mad at him for making time for yourself.
But if you have a partner, he should help you out.
Yes.
Like, there's not who can. We're all able. If you're able to feed yourself, you're able to feed your children. You know, so I think I was very aware of that before we had children, that my partner was able to look after himself. He was a fully grown man. I didn't take him from his mum. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So let's, you know, if that's what you want, then for your life, that you're not going to have a third child, as in your partner, you're treating them like an additional child. Because I've got friends who did it, and they're like, yeah, I pick his clothes out. I'm like, babes, no. How?
Why?
But you knew what you were signing up for. You did that before you even had children.
Yes.
But if there's a time for change, it's then when you have children. Like, okay, I have something more important in my life that I need to nurture, grow, develop, keep alive. So I think it's important, as much as women work now, that there's a balance in the household.
Yes.
If you're, you know, helping bring in some of the financials, then also you're going to need help at home. Yeah, when you're on maternity leave, I'm not going to say you must do the night feeds, because you're not on maternity leave. I am. And that was a balance. But as soon as we're both back at work, like everything needs to balance.
Change and everything, yes, there has to be a new balance. Okay, I love that. I think when you're saying, I don't feel guilty for that, I'm gonna act like every mom needs to have that kind of mentality, to be honest.
I think it's hard. It's a side effect. It's a side effect of motherhood, this mum guilt, and it comes at every turn. I mean, I still had nightmares as to what's the worst, like not feeding my child, and it never happened. But I still have mum guilt about certain things, but mine are not around not doing everything for you. I think I'd feel more guilty raising my children without them being able to do anything for themselves than I do thinking, you know how to make a drink. I'll put the cups down low so you can get yourself a drink.
That independence is really good.
I'm telling you, it's how I was raised. It was everyone can help.
Mom's hands up a lot. So she feels like she can do stuff. She can actually, it really gives you that, all the like foundation you need to getting back to you. Once you're getting that independence back, it makes a big difference. Like that freedom, a little bit of freedom, because your kids can do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Wow. They're the basics.
Yeah, of
course. There's things like, I'm now very conscious about education because they're both in the juniors. And I think university is expensive, but is it necessary? So I'm already thinking about that.
Okay.
They're still in primary school, but I'm already thinking ahead.
About that. You're a planner. Girl, you're a planner. I feel like every mom needs to be one, because to be honest, if you're not, if you're not prepared, that's where the pressure, the anxiety, everything comes.
It does. So the other day, I taught my daughter how to use Canva. She's 8.
Oh, wow.
Not because I didn't want to make it for her, but because I thought, this is a fun activity we can bond on together, because I use Canva regularly.
Yeah.
You want to make a Christmas list? Let's hyperlink it and send it out as a PDF to our nearest and dearest, so they know exactly what you would like.
Yeah.
I did this disclaimer.
Yeah.
I did say, we've made this together. Take it as inspiration for what she might like.
Yeah.
And if you've already got something, then she'll be grateful for anything. But it was more the activity of, how do I help to prepare for her future
Mm.
and in a fun way.
Yes.
So, we're talking about screen time, not too much screen time. This was one deviation from that,
Yeah.
where I was like, this is actually worthwhile.
Yes.
Screen time.
Yes.
And I brought her along for the journey with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm going to continue to do that because I think I'm not going to be guilty that she hasn't thrived or she hasn't achieved her potential. I'm just going to do everything I can to help support that.
Yes.
But, the days of being gone and when you get to 16 and 18 and your children are gone and you've got an empty nest are well far off. I don't think that's same. It won't be the same as our parents had it, So I think whatever I can do to support her, I do. And that's why I'm not guilty.
I love that.
I'm not guilty.
I love that.
But I think that let me be real for everyone, there are things I feel guilty about. And it's not proud moments, like not having patience. The thing that I was most worried about.
Yeah.
The thing I was most worried about. I knew about myself. I knew that I'm not a patient person. And sometimes I feel guilty that I have a full-time job. I spend a lot of time running Medway Culture Club. So, and I'm helping the community, but you got to put your family first.
Yeah.
What's the point of helping outside of home when your children don't see you as much or you're not focusing on them? So I'm very conscious that I have a little reset every so often where I'm like, no, hang on, let me cook with them.
Okay.
And just, I think I pick them up from school every day and then take them to whatever activity.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we don't have after school activities, I'll try and make some. So I did a little homework club with my niece so that they get to see their cousin and they get to learn something with me.
Yes.
And then what other clubs have we done? Cookery club, where they get to help you, like teach them how to use a knife and stuff. So I'm just trying to enrich their lives from home and put the laptop down sometimes. However, they help with the mum guilt when they say, Mummy, can I work for Medway Culture Club? And then I'm like, no more pressure, because now I need to make it something that they can be employed.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Do they ever come in and help out with
when it's
setups and
Christmas? They've definitely been on that production line to make Christmas cards for the elderly.
Okay.
When the class make a certain amount, but there's a shortfall because the elderly people's home has loads of residents, and you're like, okay, right, you do the glue, I'll do the glitter. Whatever they can help with, I let them, because it's such a big part of my life. As I said, it's a passion project, but it really gave me purpose.
Yes. How do you balance it all, like without burnout? To be honest, I don't know how burnout can be avoided. I don't know if there's seasons, but how do you manage your full-time job, your passion project, motherhood, being a wife, being a friend, all of that relationships?
It is a balancing act and the juggle is real. However, I think it's seasonal. So I definitely have experienced burnout before. Okay. So now I can spot it coming.
Okay.
And so I just have to sort of put my energy into different things and rest. I'm learning to rest. I didn't rest this morning. I messaged the WhatsApp group at 4:30. Sorry, Charlene, I woke you up. But yes, absolutely. It is a balance and it's about boundaries.
Okay.
And I think I joke that I'm my own worst boss or my own worst enemy sometimes, because I have really high standards and aspirations and desires to succeed and see people flourish, uplift the volunteers, give them every opportunity. And sometimes it might seem like someone's bitten off more than they can chew, but I'm just so driven to deliver. But in that season, I didn't cook that week, that month. And I'm lucky enough to have the support that's holding up the front line.
Yeah.
And as I said, the children can get involved with the things that I'm trying to deliver. So what I get my daughter to do, I get her to do the voiceovers for the social media ads. I'm like, she's a really good reader now.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. You just try you balance it, but you just try to involve everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's your support system.
Oh, okay. Well done. This will usher us into a little segment from Mum to Mum where I read some dilemmas that some mums have sent in and just get your opinions on them or advice. Okay. The first one. So this mum sent in about having her baby and just feeling like the world shifted, I guess, from her to the baby. Okay. And she says, when my baby was born, people flooded the house. Gifts for the baby, photos with the baby, questions about the baby. Not one person asked how I was healing. I was bleeding, barely sitting down properly, crying in the shower sometimes. And then months later, someone finally asked me, how are you doing? And I absolutely broke down. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to function without feeling like the attention has shifted from me to baby. How do you get on with this phase? Is basically what they're asking. I don't know. Did you ever experience anything like, I think you mentioned that you didn't really have that shift.
I didn't have that shift.
Advice.
I think advice-wise though, it's a tricky one when you're not speaking from like lived experience and personal experience, because I think when my attention shifted from me to baby, it feels like it's only natural. However, the baby's still new, and as they get older, I think it will get easier. But instead of expecting others to give that attention, it's when you give yourself that attention. So take that bath, take that walk, go shopping, buy yourself something, gift yourself and make yourself feel more important. That's what I would say. I think all the while others aren't delivering what you need from them, but also I think communication's important. Yeah. So those key people in your life, that not everyone's going to do it and not everyone's going to be able to give you the feeling you need. You know who it is. It might be your partner, your parents, it might be your siblings, but you know them well enough and they've known you long enough that you can be real with them and let them know. I think getting it off your chest is half the problem. Yeah. So I think let them know how you're feeling, and then maybe they will instigate let's go for lunch. Or I'll look after the baby, you go get your hair done. That sort of thing. I think without knowing, people aren't psychic and they're just excited. They're excited for the new addition. And I'm sure we all are. I think mothers can be just slightly less excited because they're in the trenches, they're exhausted. Yeah. It's hard to be excited.
The lack of sleep, the lack of, always breastfeed if you're breastfeeding. And
it's a whole new kind of work. Yeah. And it's a learning curve. So I think definitely communicate, but also give yourself that love. That's my advice.
Oh, that's beautiful advice. Thank you. The second dilemma is, I adore my baby, but sometimes I scroll through photos of my old life and I feel so sad. Quiet mornings, long showers, spontaneous dinners. Everything is everything is nappies and pumping. I told a friend and she said, you should be grateful because some people would kill to have what you have. And sometimes I just feel really guilty for missing who I was. I wanted to read this on to you, especially when you mentioned how spontaneous you were previously. And just, do you think that shame you feel
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that friend who shamed her and said you should be grateful, that was not that kind. It wasn't the kind of response that a new mum needs to hear, need to feel supported as they're navigating the hormones and the different emotions. Yeah. And I think that's probably, and I want to say it, that's a really natural response to motherhood. All responses are natural. Yes. Because they're unique to you. Yes. It might be that someone can relate or they can't relate, but don't feel abnormal for what you're feeling. I would say in that instance, yes, I could relate to the looking back at your old life. However, as I said, I had very well prepared myself that I knew there was going to be this shift, this downtime. It didn't make it loads easier, but really focused on the positive of, okay, well, this is for a season. This baby won't always need this much attention. And then the less attention, and also the more people that you bring in to be part of your village. So don't try and do it all. So this is why I didn't exclusively breastfeed, because then you could say, do you mind watching the child for me? You're not setting up yourself for that fall.
Yeah.
It won't last forever. You can have that back. I just went to Afro Nations last summer with my best friend.
Okay.
Listen, I never went to I went on a few holidays, girls' trips, but not this kind of girls' trip where you're older, wiser, and also just more comfortable in your own skin. So, my children were 6 and 7 at that point. And I felt comfortable enough to travel with my friend and had the best time. And we connected on so much more of a deep level because we had a prolonged period of time of seeing each other rather than I'll come visit you at your home or you come visit me or we'll take the kids to a XYZ and you're constantly looking.
Yes.
You've got one eye over here, especially because she's got 4 little ones. And so we sort of tag teamed, either I was pregnant or she was pregnant and blah, blah, blah. This was a really nice moment in time. And, it was a bit of an end goal, where you feel like, okay, I'm starting to reemerge as who, and more intentional about who I want to be, how I want to spend my time and my energy. So it's not about the frequency, it's about the quality.
Oh, love that. Oh, beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay, to wrap up the episode, one final advice you have for any mom out there who might be struggling in the moment, maybe in the trenches with identity shift, right? Struggling to find that balance between who they were before motherhood and now being a mom. Do you have any advice for them?
Yes. What I would say to mums who are struggling with identity shift after becoming a mum is that you know who you are and you know who you want to be. And it's just about redefining who you are, because being a mum does change you. It does.
Yes.
We can't deny that. And it's not a problem unless you've changed to a person that you don't want to be. And if there's something that you don't like, you can either accept it or you can change it. So I chose to change it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like looking mumsy.
Looking mumsy.
Yeah. My husband said, but you are a mum. I said, I don't look like one.
I don't want to look like one.
Yeah. So, and I wasn't enjoying the clothes I wore because I was trying to cover, not actually enjoy fashion anymore.
Yes.
And so, massive identity shift. I used to be a fashion buyer and now I was just cloaking myself and I didn't really enjoy fashion anymore. Yeah. I went as far as to move into buying children's wear as a career as well, because that brought me more joy.
Wow.
Than actually thinking about myself and stuff. But everything's for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Your children will be there for a lifetime. They're going to be impactful in your life. So what do you want your life to look like with them in it?
Beautiful. That is, I have nothing to add because that was just perfectly said. Thank you, Camelia.
Thanks.
So that brings us to the end of the episode. I've really, really loved talking to you. Thank you again for
enjoyed it.
Taking the time to come and talk to us about this topic, for sharing, for being vulnerable, for dropping all the nuggets, all the tips. Because there's a lot in there that I can take away, to be honest. I love how prepared you are, how you are a planner, because as a mom, it changes. Your mindset has to change to become a planner, for you to just be able to be more intentional about certain things you're impacting your kids' life or involving them as you go to find that balance.
Yeah.
So thank you so, so much. Again, it's the After Making the Baby podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Doula Mama Bear. And remember, you're doing amazing, Mama. You're smashing compassionate. Don't ever feel like you're not. I know mom guilt is real, but we got you. We're here anytime to talk. Feel free to reach out. You already know all the contact information is going to be down in the description, and I'll also leave Camille's information, because if you're interested in the Medway Culture Club or all the activities they do, you can find her easily. Thank you again. Until the next episode.
Thanks so much, Steph. That's great.